Here in my sports talk. Been off a little bit. Finally getting some sports somewhat in action here again. Major League Baseball today agreed to 60 games. We got college football working on some, getting things back in order there. We got NBA potential and NHL potential here in the summer kicking off here. They're working on some stuff there. And I don't know if, some of the other sports,
Well, we had PGA picked back up, right? They've had a couple
PGA.
weeks of tournament.
PGA.
A couple good ones too, right? A couple good tournaments.
Oh yeah, they're real good tournaments. I mean, they did Hilton Head. They did. They pushed back all the majors, so they're going to redo the majors here later in the year. Might not play. TPC maybe was one. I think we might not play. Or no, the Open. I'm sorry, the Open.
Yeah, the Open.
Overseas is not going to be played, but the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Masters all look like they're going to be played.
Mm-hmm.
We did have one player come up with COVID, so he wasn't allowed to play. Forgot his name now, but he ended up testing positive to try to get into the Heritage and couldn't play. He had to go home, or they isolated him. I think they isolated him for some time. I think that's how it works. But I was looking into it. I don't think he played the week before even. I think he was off.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, Watney, he I don't think he even played. So I think he came from Texas right to the thing. So it must have been something he might have, contacted while he was at home.
Probably, yeah.
Positive. I don't think it was anything where I don't think he played in the previous tournament. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I mean,
actually, I just something came across. There was a second golfer that was tested positive today.
Oh, they didn't have another one?
Yeah, Cameron Champ.
Yeah,
they announced that he tested positive. He was going to play in the Travelers.
And
he had to withdraw.
So two.
But he said he felt physically fine. He was surprised that he tested positive. He had no symptoms.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was Watney. It was
Nick Watney.
Nick Watney
was the one
from the Heritage. Yeah. So now it's the second two of them, but
I don't know if he played. I don't think he was at the Heritage. I don't remember seeing his name up there. I watched most of the Heritage and I didn't see. So I don't know if he came from somewhere else too. It's not like I don't know how they are if they go home, come back, or what.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them just go right from one to the next,
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting. I was talking, today we had lunch with Griff, and he was saying, with our scheduling, like they're talking about with the college, how they may not play that first game for Michigan against Washington just because of the travel, taking it into Washington, and that maybe potentially spreading it that way. That they may not play that Washington game, and there was discussion about like maybe just scheduling a MAC school in there, maybe putting like an Eastern, Central, Western, somebody within Michigan to try to stay in house.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things that they got to look at. I think still, but there was talk about that. But the non-league games, maybe just playing. I don't know what you think on that. I mean, would you? I mean, a fan base, you're not going to fly out there because there's no fans. I can't imagine being too many fans getting in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not going to. It'll be. I have serious doubts that they're going to have anybody in the stands, right? I mean, I know we talked a little bit about tickets, and they're still holding out some hope that.
Yeah.
They are bringing the students back on campus, from.
Right. Yeah,
I think most of the schools have their plans in place to bring students back, but can't imagine anybody's going to be in the stands, or even if they are, it's going to be
right.
Very, very few.
Nobody.
NASCAR's got fans, right? Don't they have?
They're just up to 5,000. They had 5,000.
Is that what it is? 5.
But they were spaced out all around.
It's kind of strange too. We were sitting there watching the Hilton Head, golf, and it's kind of like, seems odd to me that I mean, you're out. First of all, you're outside. You're walking around a golf course. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know. With everything else going on, it just seems like you could figure out a way to do that. Although, we were talking about the baseball getting back started, and they said, you could kind of do the same thing where you put limited numbers in the stands, but then you look at it, all the infrastructure of people that you got to bring in,
Mm-hmm.
even for 15, 20,000 fans, and it probably costs the owners. There's got to be some break even that they probably lose money, right? If because you got to bring ticket guys in, you got to bring concession guys in, you got to bring just all the infrastructure that it takes to even have one fan or 10 fans, right, in the stadium. So that's probably why the decision is probably going to be nobody.
Parking.
Yeah, all of those things that probably you got to pay all those people. Although hopefully they're still paying some of that salary. But yeah, so I think it just becomes a business decision at some point, or
Might be a TV thing, because obviously PGA is getting money through TV coverage and sponsorships, obviously from the like the Travelers is sponsoring the RBG, whatever the Hilton Head one. Obviously, those guys are paying off big money to get their name on TV.
Well, I know what I've been doing. I've been riding back, riding my bike, get on my bike at night and go riding across the street watching, watching baseball, watching kids play baseball.
Oh, have you been going over there?
Oh yeah. Anytime I look over there to the game, I hop on my bike and ride on over there and kind of watch those guys.
Watch a little bit.
It's funny. The very first time we were just walking through there, and I didn't realize they were playing games. I had seen guys over there practicing and stuff. This was a couple weeks ago. Walking by, and it was probably 12, 13-year-old kids playing, and there's a coach. I think he was a coach, and helping warm up a kid, throwing in their little cage they got there. And I walk up there, and I just got this big smile on my face. He looked over at the same time. He goes, "Yeah, we're back." I said, "Man, it's good to see baseball."
Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be? That's gotta be a cool thing.
Sure. So we sat and watched. Although it was interesting because there's no home plate umpire. They're calling balls and strikes from behind the pitcher.
And the pitcher, really? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they probably can't hire the umpires out.
So these are it's Fed ball. Looks like Fed ball, right?
Yeah.
Travel ball. But it looked like single crew umpire, and he was calling balls and strikes from behind the pitcher.
How old were the boys?
Probably 12, 13, in that range, guessing.
That's fun.
That's about what they play. I don't think they play, they don't have mounds over here, but I think the oldest they get to is probably 13.
Do it. Pound in your own mound?
They don't pitch off a mound until you hit 14.
Oh, okay.
That's when they get to 60-90 at 14U.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that'd been kind of fun to go check that. I haven't done any of that. I should maybe go look. See if I can.
Yeah, I do that. I'll ride my bike. A lot of, because actually I run into a couple guys. I run into Jesse over there umpiring a few times. A few of the other guys we know. So.
Oh, nice. Out there doing it,
All those guys over the years, you get to know.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Sometimes they're out there umpiring.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's weird. I mean, that's what you look at Major League. I watch that Chinese,
the South Koreans.
South Korean, yeah, the South Korean league a little bit. I see some replays or highlights or some up or whatever. I watch a few innings. It's kind of different, But,
I think Japan started back up too. I saw.
They start back up with their league. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's playing baseball in Japan. Again, no fans. I think they had. I saw a bunch of cardboard people in the stands.
Right. One time they put stuffed animals in the seats behind home plate. But we were talking about that today at lunch. What do you think at a college game or football? When you got no fans and the players are out there playing on emotion and just the drive. It's going to be different.
Different.
Put a 50 in there. I mean, 50,000 in half full, maybe at Michigan Stadium or something, which is still good. Anywhere you go, you can get half the stadium filled with good spacing.
Yeah, I just can't imagine them doing that.
I see them, just space them all out like at NASCAR. It was like come in sit down. Here's a ticket, and then you just got to space yourself out. They can either rope things off or have us people stand there saying here's where you can sit. As you walk in or whatever. Maybe they something I don't know how they do it because they haven't even print out any tickets yet. Here you don't even have any tickets, so they can do whatever they want with the tickets. They can decide how to print them and put you in whatever seat. As far as spacing goes, they know where the seats are and they can decide this is pretty good spacing. Whether it's yeah, it's different, but they were kind of spaced all over and that sitting up high because it's a mile. At Talladega, it was a mile long, from one end of the track to the other end of the track. So it's like you got to sit up high to be able to see them on the other end of the track, stuff like that.
You ever been to one of those? I've never been to a big NASCAR race.
MIS. I went to MIS and watched. It was awesome. I loved it.
I've driven by Talladega a few times, back and forth. We had some flight, going to Alabama. We fly into Atlanta sometimes and drive, and it's right along the interstate as you're going between Atlanta and Tuscaloosa or Birmingham.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing something similar, kind of like this.
But I've driven by there like on a Friday night, before a race, and it's just like a big city, all lit up. People have
Daytona Beach. Beach is huge. Daytona, when they're on Daytona, huge. You see it off on the highway.
Yeah.
MIS, you take those little trolleys you take to get to Walt Disney from your park. They have those running, so you park way the heck out, and they drive you in, and you can get off and get onto another one that drives you in a little bit farther, and you get off and you walk another. It seems like a mile. But
have they announced any races at MIS this year or not? I haven't.
The schedule they're running the schedule. I think they'll come up for one at least. I don't think they'll do two. They usually do two. Just do one. So
paint the walls.
It'll be good.
Paint for the walls.
It's fun. I mean, it's loud. That's my thing. It's really loud. So it's kind of loud. Your ears. And, I had to put the plugs in. Yeah, it's really cool. And it's an atmosphere. I mean, that's one thing about that place. It's missing that atmosphere. So,
touch up all the crown molding. And then put those.
It's good. I mean, it's set up. It's set up nice. It's fun to watch, and all those kind of things. So a lot of new drivers now. They got new drivers now. You can't even see them. You don't know. I mean, like Jimmy Johnson's last year. That's his last year coming up. You got Jeff Gordon retired. So most of the guys I watched growing up all pretty much retired. So it's all the new drivers now. You remember Bill Elliott? His son drives now. Bill Elliott was a pretty good driver back in the day, back in the 80s. He was a big time. He won all the time. And then his son's riding now, and then you got Kyle Busch and all those guys. Like the guy wins, wins the race, and he does his little spin out, but there's no, like this yesterday, they had about 5,000 fans there to kind of applaud him. But he just lose out on that celebration factor, But it's be interesting to see what they do with football. If they do football and they can play it, if not, like I said to Griff, I said, hey, I don't need fans and I don't need to go. And, I'll try again next year. He's something like that where they hold you for next year.
Right.
They're still able to get your tickets for the following, which I think would be the case.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. You don't lose your spot. But.
Then you get, just hurts the boys as far as playing. You don't got nobody in the crowd.
Yeah, I think there's plans for the high school seasons to hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What do you think about that? You've heard.
We haven't, we've been able to start workouts. We were in our second full week.
Right.
Workouts you can do. We got strict guidelines to follow from the state. You can't be inside any building. Everything's got to be outside.
All right.
Yeah, you can't open up any indoor facility. So we got, they're doing some running out on the field, and we bring plates out for them to carry up the hill or whatever, and if they're sharing any weight equipment that we bring out from the weight room, we got to have a coach there spraying it down, and they have their own towel and they wipe it down in between guys if they trade off a plate
weights
or whatever. But just doing
anything with the masks or helmets. Anything word on that? Is it
no, we haven't. You can be in helmets. You can't do any contact. Not even with a pad. A coach holding a pad or whatever. You can't do anything like that. You can be in helmets and run routes, and the state doesn't mandate masks or shields. They recommend them, but it's tough if you're running and working out. You're not going to wear a mask, but you're outside.
Right.
You got to fill out all the paperwork every day. Take your temperature. Parents have to sign a form every day. Sign off on the kid being there. Your coaches have to fill in a form every day.
Wow.
And they got to maintain that paper trail.
So
for the schools. Just to make sure they're covered right from that standpoint. But guys are showing up. The guys are doing some things and trying to do what we can do. All the 7-on-7s. We usually go out to that big Kirk Cousins 7-on-7 tournament. That he holds out at Hope College. That officially has been canceled.
$45 million house.
Yeah.
But we're assuming there won't be any 7-on-7s.
No, I can't.
Season practice right now. They're saying practice is set to start. I think August 8th, 7th, 8th, whatever that. Still supposedly, on target to start on that date unless something happens.
Schedules you have.
You can't supply water bottles, so the kids have to bring their own water. I assume those rules will probably stay in place throughout the season. They'll have to have their own individual water bottles. Can't share them and those kinds of things. Yeah, just a lot of rules and extra precautions and things that you got to go through. You tell the kids, hey, we got to do them because if somebody would get sick, that would ruin it, right? That would end it. So you got to kind of make sure they're following all the rules.
Yeah.
Gary's got a beautiful house, but it's
that's the thing. It's like kind of even. I heard they're having trouble with referees even.
Yeah, I can imagine.
A referee or
he's got
themselves out there in that situation with the kids and all that, sweating and spitting or whatever. But obviously, that's a whole other issue for some people to decide. But
yeah,
one of those kind of deals.
Then you walk outside, it's got hills, all grass, really nice. And then
you want to keep them playing. It's just the same rules with the NFL and stuff like that. So I think we were talking earlier today about when they play like somebody from Maryland or something, Michigan guy goes to Maryland. And they end up come out of that game. There's 3 or 4 guys that have COVID from each team.
Especially if you're up top.
And you got to replace those guys with the announce. Like they were talking about maybe not even announcing. Like the NBA, maybe I was just saying that he's scratch or something. They were talking about one of the sports teams was saying he wouldn't bring it out in the public that the person has it. They would just say, oh, he's a scratch or something. He's unhealthy or he's hurt.
You know what it is.
You're right. I mean, obviously, the process. So.
We'll be around. We'll definitely have some cocktails this week.
Yeah, everybody would know what it is.
Yeah, you're over your house. We got alarms.
Yeah, everybody would know exactly what was going on with it all. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things. It's obvious. You're trying to. I mean, I think that's kind of a nonsense thing that they would discuss that. I think it's just something that they would just do, and it would come out either way. I think they would have to announce it as being the person, has got COVID or whatever, So
I don't know. It's going to be tough, right? Because all these kids, the college game and the pro games. I mean, at least at the high school level, for the most part, these kids aren't going to get tested, right? But at the college and the professional levels, I'm assuming that they're going to get tested every day.
Every day.
Yeah. So a lot of, especially on the younger, with the people that you know, in their 20s or teens or 20s and 30s that are testing positive. Most of them say, yeah, I didn't think I had anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I think it's going to get really interesting.
I walked into the chiropractor the other day and they took my temperature.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, and I got back there and he said, you don't have to wear the mask or whatever. So.
Oh, really?
And we got a little guest. We got a guest.
We got a guest appearance.
Oh, man.
Sam, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Mills? What's up, man?
Yeah, you know, hanging tough.
He came over.
Yeah.
Made a little burger. My tank promptly ran out of gas on mid burger, so he had to come in and cook it on the
mid burger.
That's always good.
Turned out perfect.
I had my third jug of gas that went kaput. I gotta get
How you doing, Mills? All right.
I'm doing good, and you know, been busy taking care of my dad. And
yeah, how's he doing?
Yeah, he broke his hip a month ago.
Coach,
kind of rough. Yeah, it's been rough.
Turned 94.
Yeah, that's tough.
Been tough times, but you know, hopefully he's gonna bounce back from it.
That's cool.
So
yeah, we
tough.
We've been keeping an eye on him a little bit here, kind of hanging out. But Sam and I just talking about the COVID and sports and the football and how the kids.
So what do you think, Sam? You think they're gonna have college football?
I don't know, man. We were just talking about that. I think the problem is, like we were just talking, I think high school probably has a better chance because, you know, they're not going to test all the high school kids, but these college kids and pro, they're going to test these guys every single day, right? I mean, just because they can, right? And
I
don't know. It's going to be.
Yeah, he's doing it with the high school right now, and they got to wipe off all the machines, and you know they can't do contacts, they can't hit pads, stuff like that.
They can't even be inside the weight room. Everything we do, we got to do outside. You know, we're bringing plates up, bringing 45-pound plates outside, having them run up the hills, you know, whatever. But if they share them, you know, you got to wipe them down between guys. And, you know, you got to, it's kind of crazy. But,
I mean, where does it end? I mean, if
that's exactly. I, mean, I don't know where it ends. I don't know
for it or something. I mean,
right, exactly. You know, what point? We were trying to talk. You know, playing golf the other day. My buddy, and we're saying the same thing. You know, what's the end game, right? I mean, when does it all end? It's at some point, right? I don't know.
Yeah, guys get sick. Guys play with the flu and all that. We never worried about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I know this is tougher, but it ends sooner or later.
If you can take support, you know, if you can take something after you get it, you know, like the flu, you know, you take the flu shot or you do whatever, you know. Ideal. But we were just talking about that as far as like out of the NBA, the NHL, the Major League Baseball, you know, they're all gonna want to do the same thing, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, my buddy, you know, he's talking about, you know, when they start baseball and whether or not the media will still be allowed to be in there, and they certainly won't be allowed to be in a locker room. And, you know, I got a buddy of mine who's a sports writer, baseball writer. And he's like, I don't even know if I'll be traveling to games, you know, just because if I can't talk to a guy or I got to be distant, I might as well just do it over the phone like we're doing. You know? He's like, not even worth his time to travel. You know, such a hassle. But hopefully we get some baseball. And I saw Pat. I've been running around to all the local parks just watching, you know, 12, 13-year-old kids play because I miss it so much, you know.
Yeah. Travel ball's playing. I guess kids are playing travel ball, but they got to go to a hospital to play.
Yeah, they are. They played across the street from me here, and they're all playing. So I walk over there, ride my bike over there, and just watch them for a few minutes just to get a fix.
yeah, exactly. So what's your take on it? You think they're gonna do like a 60-game season, or?
Yeah, they just announced it today. They reached an agreement. They're gonna do 60 games.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. They finally had a bunch of meetings yesterday, and I think they finally announced it. Pat, you said about 5 o'clock today. They announced they're going to start camps. I think July 1st, and then the season's supposed to start like the weekend of the 24th, 25th.
Or 25 of July. Play 60 games out.
60 games. Yes, they got to play. Well, my buddy was saying they got to play 60 games in 67 days.
Oh wow,
that's the schedule.
60 games in 67 days.
They got 67 calendar days.
September, right? They want to be done by the end of September.
Yeah, so there's 67 calendar days to play 60 games. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be packed. Right?
Where are they going to play the games? They mentioned that.
I haven't seen all that details. Although, you know, he was saying originally it was going to be, you know, more regional, so the travel's not as far, right? So I haven't seen anything officially come out on the, you know, how it's going to be set up.
we were adding it up at lunch today, and we said play each team in the Central 4 games, home and away, and then play 3-game series against the other divisions.
Well,
So it's
yeah.
either we go to the Yankees, but the Yankees wouldn't come to us. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
Boston would come to us. We wouldn't go to Boston for 3 games.
yeah, I mean, originally they were talking about doing everything just geographically, right? So,
Right.
Do you think they're going to play in the major league parks
yeah, they are.
and then do limited fans?
Well, I don't think there's going to be any fans because that was the other factor that the the owners were talking about. They said even because I was talking, I said, well, what if you because you're outside, right? I mean, you could sit every other row and separate yourself, but I think the owners have a break-even point, right? So if a stadium fills, capacity is 40,000 or 45, and they are only allowed to have 15 there, it probably costs them more to hire all the people, put all the people in place and all the infrastructure to have those 15,000 people there. It's going to be a business decision, right? More than anything, probably, because they'll say it's costing me more than it's worth having 15,000 people.
Right.
I don't know.
Rely on revenue from TV. That's the only revenue they're going to get.
Yeah. Right. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it's all crazy.
Crazy times.
Well, we talk about baseball. We got a ex-baseball player here, Pat Miller. At the University of Detroit, drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. Played 6 years in the minors down there, baby. First guest honor we got on our show, Sam.
You guys went all out,
his
too.
dad, yeah, we went out all the trimmings for you. Flew you in and put you up in the great accommodations.
Pumped it up a notch.
Just to be a guest on our show.
Man, you're going to have like 1 million viewers watching
That's
this.
right.
Did he at least feed you and give you a drink?
That's right. We're getting them drinks.
Well, I had to cook my own food, bring my own food over.
Yeah.
And then he ran out of gas on the grill.
Yeah, BYOF.
Well, how do you treat a baseball player like that?
You might be the first and last guest.
Yeah, that's right. People aren't going to want to sign up for this gig.
Screw that. I'm not involved in that.
Man,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I ain't here for the money, I'll tell you that.
Dan was an ex-Philly, great pitcher in the World Series, 1950. You and I all know that, Coach. Started the 4th game of World Series against the Yankees back in 1950. Just turned 94. We're seeing him today for a little bit, and he's doing good. Just turned 94, but Mills moved his way around. Milwaukee Brewers, New York Mets, a little bit with the Tigers at the end, and retired after 6 years in the league playing. So. Had a good, stellar career, a lot of memories. Pitched against the Wolverines, pitched against Pedro Martinez in the California League out there. Had some good experiences. What was one of your best stories, Mills? Give us one of your best stories. Kind of throw you on the bus right now.
You. I got a good trivia though. Good trivia about my dad.
Here we go.
Who was the first 2 rookie pitchers to ever start against each other in the World Series?
Wow.
It was in 1950. I'll give you a hint. One of them was my dad.
First 2 rookie pitchers to start in the World Series.
Start a game against each other in the World Series.
In a World Series.
Wow.
It was my dad, and the other one was for the Yankees, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and he's a left-handed pitcher.
1950?
1950. Hall of Famer.
I'm going to go with, you got a guess, Sam?
I got to think a little bit.
First name is a color.
Yeah.
Second name is a makeup.
Whitey Ford.
Whitey Ford.
This is my guess is going to be too. Then.
Whitey Ford was the best rookie in the American League, and my dad was the best rookie pitcher in the National League.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Has it happened since?
Yogi Berra and
Oh yeah, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Phil Rizzuto.
All those guys he pitched against back then.
Oh yeah.
Has that happened? Has it happened again?
I'm sure it has, but that was the first time it's happened.
The first
Well,
time.
you figure, I thought Steve Avery from the Braves, but I don't think who he pitched against was a rookie.
Yeah, matched up against each other. I mean, that's
I
pretty.
don't think a rookie was against them though. And you got Fernando Valenzuela from the rookie that made it through on the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
One guy that looked up in the air and never looked at the plate.
I bet you it hasn't happened a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Fernando.
So what about these guys, right? I mean, what a year to be, if you're in the Major League, baseball draft this year. right? I mean, there's no minor league baseball. All these guys, right? What a terrible year
They're
to.
just going to do workouts and do the best they can to keep them in shape and keep an eye on them, but they're not going to play any games.
I mean, they were talking about having, expanding rosters and having like, some guys on, working out, having an extra like 15, 20 guys on like a, I don't know, like a practice squad, working out somewhere. Because what if guys get hurt, right? What are you gonna, I can call up guys, right? So I don't know what they.
Bad for the AAA guys.
Either
AAA
get
guys
hurt
that are
or-
right on the brink of making it or not making it. They're right on the brink.
That's what
Right.
In their
I
career.
was just going to bring that up. It's
Because there's only so many roster spots. Now they draft all these players are going to keep them.
Yeah. So now you got new guys coming in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's just,
You get the
Got to restock the shelves.
one chance. You get one chance maybe, or this is a year in your career that you will never get back. So then you lose a
Right.
year. And next year you're older. If it lasts even into, if it's prolonged even the next year. But
You got all the
hopefully
kids in
not.
high school too. All the kids that play high school baseball that might have went on and played, whatever college, Division
Yeah.
1, IA, Division 2,
yeah, Mhm.
totally shut out.
yeah.
I feel really, really bad for those kids.
oh my God, it would have been. I look back. Thank God my son had a chance to
Right.
finish up.
Because a lot of kids blossom in their last year. They blossom their senior year.
Mhm.
Awful.
You just
Yeah,
never know. Kids, it's
It is,
amazing
yeah.
how many kids I've seen that weren't that good their junior year, and all of a sudden they're
Right.
playing senior year.
Mhm.
It just clicks.
And then have a chance to play, right? Move
Yeah.
on and.
Play. Go on to the next level. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's pretty sad. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for all these kids that lost their senior year, or even kids going into this year that have so many question marks about, what that season may not hold.
Right.
You're getting ready for football, and you got basketball possibly, and just the question marks that hang over it right now. We never had to deal with that growing up or anything. You just kept playing, no issues. But you talk about the Tigers, and they drafted that kid from Arizona State, Torkelson.
Well, they were talking about that too. A guy like him, I mean, if you got a shortened season, why not get him some at bats, right?
Yeah.
Get him some big league at bats. What else? I mean, seriously, right? I mean,
A lot of these guys.
It's you got to know the kid because it's very,
that's
very
what I mean.
difficult to
Yeah.
play at that level. I mean, I felt that. I know the pressure of it,
Mhm.
and it can really screw a kid up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It can mess with them mentally. They try so hard to try to compete
Easy.
at that level, and they're not ready,
Yeah.
and it can destroy them.
Yeah.
It really is a tough level.
Mhm.
If they're not ready for it, it's
A lot of the critics are
not
saying
good.
he's pro ready.
Mhm.
He's always hit at every level. He's always, they say he was going into his junior year at Arizona State, and
But yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
But everything else is going to add up now.
Potentially be a
He's
superstar.
got hit with a wooden, you get
Yeah.
a wooden bat. I mean,
Yeah.
you got guys that throw harder. They got better curveballs, better changeups, better
Yeah.
sliders. They're bigger,
Mhm.
they're stronger, they're faster,
Mhm.
and it's a humbling experience. And a lot of these kids are not ready for that yet. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why
It's got to be the
minors.
yeah, like you say, it's got to be the right kid, the right situation, right? So, and it's probably rare, very rare.
Look at, even with the Tigers in that situation that they were in, being our hometown team. Here you got Mize, Manning, all their guys, they're young studs at pitchers that were going to pitch during the minors all season, lose this whole season. So now what do? Do you utilize, like Millsy just said, do you utilize them? You even said, Sam, do you utilize them now and bring them in and have them throw now in this situation just because, hey, I mean, it's like the 60-game season, what's our chances? If it starts out sluggish. Like I said, today I think Griff said 42 and 18 is 70%, right? 42 and 18. If you finish 42 and 18, you're winning 70% of your games, right? So even if you go 30 and 30, you're only at 50% of your. Usually baseball, you got to be in the top, top team or top two teams in your division. So,
but guys that are throwing, right? I mean, how many innings these guys going to be allowed to throw, especially early on, right? I mean, 60 games, right? I mean, right? It takes you a while to get up that.
Starts. How many starts does that equate to in a major league? If you got a 4-man rotation.
But I'm assuming they're going to limit these guys.
You're going to throw in 67 days. So you got how many guys are going to be able to turn around that quick?
Well, they can't, right? And they're going to probably limit these guys, right, to 4 or 5, if that, right? 4 innings, 3-4 innings, maybe. I don't know.
You carry more pitchers. You got to carry more pitchers.
I don't know.
You normally would on a 162 game season. Or
Seems
do
like you might. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, your day-to-day baseball, your positional guys,
Who knows? I mean, it's never been tested.
Mhm.
guys
Who
can do it
knows?
in no time. You know, I mean, a few utility guys here and there.
And are they going to be ready? That's
Right.
another
That's what I mean. You're only going to have they're going to have less than probably 3 weeks to get ready.
right. And a lot of guys that pitch are not ready after the till middle of May.
Right.
Till June, and then they start getting sharp.
Right.
Exactly.
So they might be rusty and then peaking right when it's the end of the season.
Right. Yeah. It's just going to be.
It's gonna be weird to watch. It's gonna be bizarre.
It's going to be very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's gonna be fun to watch though.
Like I said, I'll watch it, whether it's no fans or
Hell yeah, I'll watch it.
they put it on, I'm gonna watch it. And whether it's Tigers or anybody else, I usually watch them. On ESPN, we'll televise them, and some of those kind of deals. But it's that, or even NBA or the NHL are talking about coming back and finishing out their seasons. And so hopefully they can do that here. But there's some of the guys are protesting that, and are getting sick. Some of the guys got sick already. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what you do. It's tough. I mean, what would you
I
do?
don't know. Almost seems to me like
You
NHL,
gotta
NBA,
take that
at
chance.
that point, they should just bag it because
You're young and in shape. If you get COVID, you're 99.9% going to survive it.
right.
So why wouldn't you just play?
Yeah, but a lot of these guys they're like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's scary. Yeah, it's the fear of the unknown.
But I mean, if they're not going to, if they're going to start playing, try to finish an NHL season, an NBA season, 2 months from now, they're going to be back in, training camp, right? I mean, it seems kind of.
Right now, you're in that situation. When there's a pushback next year's season to adjust the calendar, I mean, that's kind of the situation that is right now. Why bother?
Yeah, there's nothing for certain there's going to be a season next year.
Exactly.
In that situation, it's not going to necessarily
Who knows?
clear up. So you play while you can play, and you keep with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you're under contract, so what do? I mean, you're under contractual obligations, so it'd be like, I'm saying you got to come to work, but you say no, I'm not coming. Most of these guys are shut down right now. You know what I mean?
Well, there's no COVID line in that
Contract.
contract, right? So it's throwing everybody a loop.
There will be.
Yeah, there will be now.
But they were talking about that the other day on First Take with Smith and all the guys there. And Smith was very adamant about, hey, you're on the contract, you're $31 million, you're blah blah blah. If they call you, you're going, and I think it was discussion about some of the guys were saying like from Cleveland there, the guard and another big guy. They were both saying, well, we're gonna protest. They're protesting some of the issues that are going on in the society these days, and that they weren't going to go. But Smith was very adamant, saying, "Hey, you're under contract. You should be there. You got to show up. There's no choosing sides, or if you want to protest on your own kind of deal." When you get into that kind of stuff, he was very adamant about that, saying, "No, you got to, you can't. You can do all the stuff. You can give money to different organizations or whatever on your free time, but your job is to play basketball, and you got to show up to play basketball. That's what it is." But I don't know. I don't know if you guys have any different feelings on that. You can't have if you have an opinion on something, just because you don't want to work with somebody or don't want to go to work because you have a different opinion. I don't know.
Now they don't get paid.
Just because it's sports, you can't.
They get paid.
Right. They got to forfeit that. They got to forfeit pay then, right? For breaching the contract. So.
Yeah, breaching. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess that's their decision, but they have to live with that consequence if they're in breach of contract, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like any other job. I mean, I don't show up and work out.
The same prediction too. They're how are we going to make money to pay the players?
Right.
Everybody's in the same boat.
Oh yeah, that's crazy, man. It's a crazy setup, crazy deal. But yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of different things here, Sam. We went over tonight. MI Sports Talk. We had a special guest here, Mr. Miller.
Well, I'll leave you with one cool thing about Bugs, my dad.
Yeah.
Great record. That's held at Wrigley Field. He's the only pitcher in Wrigley Field history to pitch a complete game shutout and collect 4 hits. Think about that. The pitcher went 4 for 5 and threw a shutout against Ernie Banks and the Cubs at Wrigley Field.
Nice.
A record that's never been broken and probably never will be broken.
Never probably ever will. What year was that?
I think it was 1954.
So a little bit later.
I got a little black letter from the Cubs.
Really?
in my
That's
office. They went through all their record books since
Never- yeah.
baseball started, and nobody's come close, but
4 for
nobody's
5.
ever done it.
4 for 5.
They've had 3 hits, but not 4.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
through a what?
Isn't that incredible?
Through
To a complete game
complete
shutout.
game shutout.
Complete game shutout.
And get 4 hits.
Wow.
Awesome.
I love
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love
That's some
that.
good stuff.
That is a record that won't be broken. I don't
That's
think.
some good stuff, man.
Unless
awesome.
some of the National League guys can do that there.
Yeah.
But most of them don't pitch. Most of them don't take 5 at bats. They're easy. They're out of there by the time 3 bats.
And as a
They're
rookie,
into the bullpen.
right. And then his rookie year, he had 27 scoreless innings. You never hear of that again either.
Right. Yeah.
I look at it, I just.
What
he was 8-0 before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
With ERA under 2.
Man.
What did Oral Hershiser? He had 50-some, but he was not a rookie. He
Right.
did some kind of scoreless innings, but 50-some. He wasn't a rookie, though. He was probably his 3rd or 4th year guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 27 as a rookie.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Wow. That's
JV, even JV, Verlander, or none of those guys.
It's tough to do in high school,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
let alone, being 24 years old and pitching in the big leagues.
Pitching in the bigs. Pitching in the
Do
bigs.
you know when he started the 4th game of the World Series at Yankee Stadium, the fan capacity at that time was 90,000.
90,000?
He pitched in front of 90,000 people at Yankee
it's funny. You look at some of those old game films, and the places are just jammed, right? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's and they all got suits on and hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like watching those. I love watching some of that old footage.
Yeah. Some of those
Oh yeah,
some of
great
those old
stuff.
games they put on nowadays. I'm watching 1968, Tigers Cardinals game 7 or whatever it was, watching that video and seeing the crowd and all the TV, how the TV, scoring and all that was done, and how far they've come with their coverage.
Did you know back in the 50s too, when they finished the 3rd out of that inning, the infielders and the outfielders left their mitt right in the outfield and in the infield.
I remember seeing that.
They never brought their gloves back to the dugout.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
So if you hit a guy's glove, you had to play it.
They just threw him
that's
down.
something.
They just threw him down on the field.
Yeah.
Just toss it out. Toss it out on the outfield. Second baseman, just toss it out on the outfield grass and pick it up the next time you go out there.
That's hilarious.
Those fun facts, huh?
I know we were talking about that a couple months or so ago, right? Watching those old games. The games move so much faster, right? Because not so much time between innings, you're on and off.
It was very rare 3-hour games. Everything was 2 hours and 35 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah. Pitchers are just
no BS.
Their pace is they're throwing pitches. The guys aren't stepping out of the box all. They're just
adjusting their batting gloves and all that
just
stuff.
such a quicker pace to the game. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Did you watch the one with the Mark the Bird Fidrich? They had it on.
I think that's the one, right? I mean, he worked fast.
Size of the players? That's what I noticed that. I'm like, the size of the players were like bean sticks, bean poles. I'm like, holy cow. Nowadays, you see how these guys up there just so physically strong. I mean, big in the box or whatever, but now, you look back then, a lot of those guys were so skinny, but they still had the pop,
My dad was the tallest guy in his team in 1950 at 6'3".
6'3".
Wow.
And it's funny, my first year of pro ball, when I was 6'3", I was the second shortest guy in our pitching staff.
Yeah, right. And now
only one guy shorter than me. Every guy was 6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
It's incredible, the difference.
Jesus, yeah. That's nuts. But the size, but with the speed of it was definitely, just bang, guy was in the box.
Pace. The pace is a lot.
Next pitch, and they just bang, bang, bang it out real quick.
Yep.
And like you say, not 3 hours, 2.5, 2:20s, things like that, 2 hours. But yeah, it's so funny to watch. Just with this COVID, being able to watch some of those old games that are on, it just makes you. Or you look at the football and how big the pads are. Like Michigan, they showed some Michigan games, Rose Bowls, and all them. And the shoulder pads, man, look like they're Hercules out there. Nowadays they're all form-fitted, shaped to the body. They're not big old gangly things on the linemen. It's very noticeable when you watch those games. It's how far the equipment has changed even to nowadays for football or even baseball. Obviously those kind of things. I always thought that they left the glove for the other guy to come out and use it.
Could be.
I always thought that they'd throw the glove down and the other guy would come out and pick up the glove and he'd put it on his hand and that's how he played.
Yeah, no, they didn't like each other.
But maybe he was. I did hear that they did leave it on the field. I did hear that too. So
Yeah.
If they did that, they might leave something inside for him. A little.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Little jaw on that sucker.
Believe it or not, the players now, Major League Baseball players, how they tuck their pants in their shoe, and they wear their pants all the way down like they're wearing a pair of slacks. My first year of pro ball, we had these old Brewer uniforms back from, probably the 70s, because I played 1990 my first year. And that middle of that season, Bob Humphreys was our minor league coordinator. He ran the whole minor league system. He ordered us new uniforms. They were gray. Our away uniforms were gray. And we got them, and the uniforms, the pants were long, so you could wear them right down about where your ankle was. With we had sanitaries in the stirrups.
Yeah.
And he saw us wearing it down by our ankles. He had all of us take our pants back. We had to throw them in a bucket, take them all back, and he had 6 inches taken off the pants. Stitched. So they were actually literally in the middle of your calf. You couldn't pull them any farther down.
No way.
They were horrible. But Bob Humphreys played in the 50s and the 60s. He says that's the way you wear your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stirrup was only about that high off your ankle, so it was a small arch. And then all through.
Yeah. And then that big,
Yeah.
Well, the guys used to get those little ones and they'd cut them and put in like elastic, so you could.
They
Right.
still
all the way up.
Yeah.
High, wear high straps.
they still do that at that when all the 12-year-old kids that play in that Cooperstown Dreams Park.
Yeah.
In Cooperstown, when you go there, like when Ben went there when he was 12, they wear their pants out. They don't allow down the long, and they provide all the uniforms so the kids are all look the same and they're all up, all up. So
Yeah.
they try to keep that tradition in that.
I love it. I think it's great because I think it's a better look.
No, it's
It looks
absolutely.
like you're wearing pajamas.
Yeah.
Because on the bottom gets all frayed. And
Because there was an art back in the day when you wore sanitaries. Sometimes you had to wear 2 pairs of white sanitaries.
Yeah.
And you had to wear the stirrups. And then you had to pull them up. And then sometimes you had to pull your pants back down. And then you had to ravel them.
Yeah.
So your pants were part of your socks to keep the socks up so they wouldn't fall.
Yeah.
Kids today have no idea what that means. It's just,
exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would never.
yeah.
They wouldn't have any idea. I always struggled. I had a hard time doing that because my stirrup was always a loose one that I'd get or whatever. Someone give me
No elastic in it.
It
was always falling down. You're like, come on. Every other pitch.
Just around my waist.
Pull your sock up.
And then some of the stirrups, they were thick on the side. They had about a half an inch. And then other ones were like strings.
Yeah.
I played at UOD, we used to like the strings, have them real thin on the side. But at RU, we had the nice wide ones.
One of the guys one year he hits a ball on the ground. He's racing to first base, and his cleat caught the stirrup and tripped him up, and he fell down halfway down the base path line.
Perfect. That's it. There's a reason why you wear your pants up.
Easy out at first, pillow, but he hit that strap on his freaking.
But he looked good, and
he fell and snapped the strap right in half, ripped his under the white sock, the sanitary. But he was racing down there trying to get the first, and his cleat caught that strap and tripped him right up.
I loved it when they came up with the socks, just one sock, and it had the stirrup built into the sock.
Yeah, built in, yeah.
It's just like putting a sweat sock on. So you put the sock on, and then you wear the pants down about that much above your ankle. I thought that was the sharpest.
That was better, yeah.
Oh man, like the early '90s.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good look with the Nike Air spikes.
Yeah.
It was a sharp suit. It looked really, really good.
Oh yeah.
And then they just got rid of it altogether. It just kept going lower and lower and lower.
Down to full length pant.
And then you got some of them now wearing above their knee. It's like
I don't get that either.
one extreme to the other.
Going with that white sock look when they wore shorts that one year. One year they had look like a V-neck shirt on with black shorts, or had black shorts for the white sock.
Oh yeah, and the sweatpants. Remember the black sweatpants?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had those. Yeah.
Ray Kroc or whatever I think was his name.
Bill Veck.
Bill Veck. That's it. Bill Veck. Ray Kroc was the Padres.
Wow. What year was that?
That was in the 80s. That was when they did
80s?
Death for Disco Baby out in center field. Tigers played a doubleheader against the White Sox. They finished the first game. They finished the first game with a doubleheader. George Kell, Al Kaline in the booth. Like, we're gonna have a little break here in between the games, and we're gonna come back with game 2, and they're gonna do a little demonstration in center field. They're gonna apparently burn up some old disco records, Death for Disco or whatever, Death to Disco. And all of a sudden, the thing got out of hand, and the freaking fire burned up the whole outfield and center field. Yeah, we'll come back. Yeah, we're gonna have to postpone this second game due to the fire. The fire burned up the center field. They couldn't play this game 2. got called. I was so disappointed. I'm like, I had my lineup all ready to go. I was ready to follow it. Keep score on TV. All that stuff, man, in my little book. Couldn't believe it. That's back when they only on once a week. Sometimes, you catch a game, not like on every night. But yeah, so a lot of good stories here.
Oh, did you know, Sam, back in the 40s and 50s when they used to bat, that they had plastic little shields they used to put inside their hat. So if you had your regular hat you wore your position, they used to take the hat off and put little pieces of plastic in there. So if they got hit in the head, it would protect them.
You play with no batting helmet.
So my dad told me that.
Pre-batting helmet. Yeah.
Pre-batting helmet.
So they would put little plastic in there. That was it.
What to think
Isn't that
there?
crazy?
Yeah. And they probably didn't have to, right? Only certain guys, right? You didn't have to, right?
Right. If you felt you wanted to do it, you would. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the uniforms were 100%
The
wool.
little thing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And they didn't stretch, they didn't give, so that's why they wore them so baggy.
Yeah, so you can move.
And I got my dad's World Series uniform, and the actual wool uniform, where the crotch area is, there's little holes with little pieces of metal, so air could get in there. So you breathe. Yeah, and they would put a stretch material in the crotch area so it would move. So if you kick your leg up or slide, it wouldn't rip. It would stretch a little bit just in the crotch area. That was it.
It's crazy.
No, it's insane. I mean, but the stitching was all done. It's so beautiful how they did the stitching back then. It's way better than today.
Oh, yeah.
You actually see the stitches.
Yeah.
Now it seems like they almost kind of iron it on.
Yeah.
But back then it was actual stitching.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's already describing and
they're beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
They used to take the train rides. They used to jump on the trains and take the train to the next.
Yeah, everything was done by train.
Downtown, yeah.
Then they started flying in the mid to late 50s. They started flying.
Oh, they flew that. I didn't realize they flew that early. I'm surprised they still. Yeah.
Yeah. And they all had to wear suits. Everybody had to wear a suit.
Yeah.
Back in the day, so. And they didn't drink in the locker room. Very, very rare did they ever have beer in the locker room. But they all smoked. They would all smoke in the locker room, but nobody would drink. And when they won the World Series, they drank Valentine beer. Or when they won in 1950 to go to the World Series, Valentine. I got a picture of my dad holding a Valentine beer, smoking Camel cigarettes.
They drank on the train.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, they're fun.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Another episode of my Sports Talk here. Guest host, guest visitor here, Pat Miller, ex-Met, Milwaukee Brewer Farm System, WD, Redford Union. Redford Union great.
Mm-hmm.
Dad was a whiz kid for the Phillies. So it's our one and only guest we've ever had, and all expense paid trip. We got some parting gifts backstage for you.
Took me a long time to get here to, show up today. I'm 3 houses down.
Clark commented so much how much you like my shoes.
Careful on the way home. Careful on the way home.
We're having a bike pick you up out front and get you home. No limo service.
We'll walk backwards, get a little workout on the way home.
Clark commented so much on how much you liked my shoes last time. I figured I'd get you a pair. I was on all weekend, National Lampoon's Vacation. Eddie.
I love Eddie.
And Eddie. Oh, that's funny.
Yes, sir.
Well, good talks. Hopefully we'll get some more information here in the coming weeks on baseball and hockey and basketball and college football, hopefully. And Sam will give us some more insight on the high school sports there a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're talking about college. You're talking about making a decision here in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think they got getting here what they want to do. We got golf, PGA, and NASCAR running right now, which is good. PGA's coming to Detroit Golf Club again, second year. This next week over July 4th.
Mhm.
Down here playing some of the pros here. So good talk, Sam.
Throw a prayer out to my dad. He's going to
Yeah.
Michigan Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame in August.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Get him healthy so we can be there and attend and everything. So
that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely do
you
that.
and Drew Henson.
Drew Henson.
Huh? And he's coming in with Drew.
Going in with Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, man.
Cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Another Hall of Fame coach. Good.
4th Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep that. Keep the prayers up for that. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Definitely. We'll talk more, Sam.
All right, man.
You can
See you guys.
Yeah, you too.
All right, buddy.
You too.
Yeah,
Take care of yourself. Let's go out and hit some golf balls again, huh?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
That was fun. Let's do it on a golf course. So maybe this big guy over here will take us to Warwick.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. One of these days.
All right, boys.
All
I'm
right,
out.
Sam.
See you,
Thanks, buddy.
Sam.
We'll talk to you, Sam.
All right, Pat. We'll see you.
Sports Talk. Check us out on the web. See you, babe.